shortly, and it gives me like an update on percentage. It didn't do that before. It just went straight live.
Are we live?
Good question. It's updating, so no, not yet.
Yeah, it says we're scheduled for 5:40 to go live.
Really?
Yeah, it's 5:41. We're late.
That's
We're
weird.
late for live.
All right, and now it should be live.
Okay. Okay.
Oh wow! Look, your boy Slothy was right in here.
Sloth is my guy.
Yeah. What's going on?
Sloth, what's good, my dude?
Oh, I'm looking good for the stream. I still have my business clothes on, not my tie. I just have a sweater.
Nerd.
Okay. I'm not switching right now. Yo, I'm sitting right next to all of my stuff packed for Florida, and I just did not feel like going through any of that to switch my clothes
Sick
right
brag, dude. I get it. You're going on vacation.
Yeah, you jealous? You want to do a live stream, a beach stream?
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, if I want to pay like $2,000 to load it.
I mean, I don't think that's that bad. What do
In
you
Mexico, if I started streaming in Mexico, I think that would definitely.
Mexico.
JaVale McGee is projected at 66%. Just FYI.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Yeah, I know. Well, and McRae is gonna be high owned now too, so just an FYI. He's getting the sheet. Man, he's been. His price tag's like just enough where it aggravates me. But like you have to, he's playing in Atlanta. Like you got to take him, and he's he only played 21 minutes against Orlando. He was a trash bag against Orlando.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes as usual. Wait for some more people to get in here, and then we'll go ahead and
Do we use
start
elevator music?
Yeah, no, I still need to look for music that's not copyrighted that we can actually load.
I was thinking about Mike Stud has a text line that you can text, and I was thinking about texting Mike Stud and being like, "Hey, let me use your music on stream and see if he answers."
What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's go ahead and get started. It looks like there's enough people in here. So welcome to the live stream, guys. I'm going to say one thing. JaVale McGee. We're going to end the stream there, guys. It was nice talking to you. No, but for real, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to start. We're going to go with an untraditional format. We usually bounce around from our favorite teams. We're going to start from the early games, go all the way to the late games, and then we'll answer any questions in between. So I think we're going to go with that format tonight, guys. We're going to try to cover the entire slate, but we did get started just a little bit late here. We were punching in numbers. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and start going down the line here. Atlanta and Washington. Does that intrigue you, TJ?
Yes,
talk about?
it does.
Okay. Who do you want to talk about first?
I mean, highest over-under on the slate, 240. That's a mammoth of an over-under. So I guess let's talk Atlanta first. The only guy that I'm really thinking about for cash would be Trae Young if I want to pay up for him. But now with the AD news of AD being ruled out, I think that kind of makes LeBron a necessity as well. So I feel like you have to maybe you can get both. That'd be ideal. But I think you got to choose between LeBron and Trae. But I think Trae Young's been playing really good, playing against Atlanta and a huge over-under, obviously, like we stated. So I think Trae Young's cash viable tonight. I do like John Collins as well, but I think he'll be a little bit under-owned. I think Trae Young might carry some ownership.
Yeah, and I've been rostering John Collins in my GPPs, and it's so funny, dude. He gets off to like a roaring start and then just goes nothing, just ice cold. So 8.5, yeah, I mean, more of a GPP play. I think Trae Young, everybody's going to be expecting him to have a good game. Highest over-under, as you said, on the slate. He's going to carry a decent amount of ownership. If you can get him in there, sure, for the ownership. Definitely a good play. I can't argue with that. But other than that, yeah, GPP plays. Let's go ahead and talk about Washington. Washington without Bradley Beal, and we know that Bertans is back with limited minutes. It looks like they have him updated here at 28. I think that would be pretty viable to go with here. 28 minutes is what Bertans is projected at. Who's your favorite play from the Wizards with all these injuries?
McRae, unfortunately.
Why, unfortunately?
Just because he's burned us a couple times. He's also had some really good games. But against Atlanta and the over under, I'm going to take my chances with them. I don't think Bertans plays 28 minutes. I feel like that's I mean, he was out 3 weeks, so and if he's got the
Yeah.
win, 28. I mean, he's just going to check up threes anyways. So I mean, you don't really need to be in great shape to hum threes to take 12 threes. Um, but yeah, I think McRae is cash viable now with Bradley Beal being ruled out at 6'5". He'll see 30 minutes. Um, I like Ish Smith off the bench. I think he's been playing really well for them lately, but I don't think he's cash viable tonight. If there's a GPP guy I'm going to take a shot in the dark with, it's going to be IT at 3.9. His minutes really haven't been there. He's been playing like low 20s, like 22 to 24. Last couple games, he hasn't done much, but 3.9 high upside game against Atlanta. I like IT as a GPP play, and I do like McRae as a cash game play tonight.
Yeah, I think McRae's a better fantasy point per minute player, so that would make the other guards rather, on Washington more GPP plays. I think the ownership, if anything, is going to go to McRae, so I do agree with you there. I think he is a viable cash option. I think he's actually one of the only viable cash options for once from Washington. I'm usually excited about these guys, but the price tags are getting up there. Troy Brown 6'6", 1.06 fantasy points per minute, so he'd have to have a really good shooting game for that to make sense. I do know that. So, I think Isaiah Thomas is probably a good option. I think that 3.9 price tag is very appealing. We know IT, if he has a good game, easily could cover that. And he has very high usage without Beal on the court. However, he hasn't been doing too well as of late. So, yeah, I think that's more of a GPP play. So, I do completely agree with you. I think Jordan McRae is the easy, clear-cut favorite here. Mahimi being another decent option as well. With that being said, guys, if you are joining the stream for the first time, go ahead and enter any questions you have. It looks like we're getting some more people here, so feel free to enter any questions. We're going to go through all the games, and we're going to go through our favorite plays throughout all games, GPP and cash. So with that being said, do you want to go ahead and jump onto the Pelicans? Do they interest you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I still think Brandon Ingram's undervalued at 9.2. I think he should be higher, especially with Holiday out. But again, we're still uncertain as to if he's going to play or not. He had X-rays on a sprained pinky that he suffered in Wednesday's game against the Bulls. I think he's going to play, and if he plays, I think he's a really good cash option. I mean, he is really expensive now at 9.2, but like I said, he's still underpriced. He should see 38 minutes if he is fully healthy, which, I mean, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to be fine with the pinky. Last two games have been great without Holiday. So, yeah. I mean, his usage has been 33% plus in the last two games without Holiday. He's been doing it all. Scored 35 and 29 points. He's getting rebounds. He's dishing the ball. So he's literally doing everything for the Pelicans. So at 9.2, I think that's against the Knicks in what could be a competitive game. I know the Knicks are going to be without Randall again and Morris. So, I mean, but it is the Pelicans, so we know that much. So I do like Brandon Ingram tonight. I think he's cash viable. And besides him, I don't have to worry about Josh Hart at 5'1". Thank goodness. But yeah, Ingram's the only one that's really drawn my attention.
Yeah, I do like Brandon Ingram, and I honestly think that 9.2 is still underpriced for this guy. Not only is Brandon Ingram good, but he's also consistently good. Like, he has a very high floor, and it's crazy to me because Brandon Ingram was not the player he is today last year, and it's just funny to show the LeBron James effect. But Brandon Ingram, definitely a good play. 37 minutes. Josh Hart was mentioned in the chat as starting. Josh Hart 5.1. Yeah, GPP option. He has been also doing, or at least he did do well in the last game. 28 points. He got off to a slow start, and then he started clicking there. I think against the Knicks, yeah, he's definitely a viable option. I think for only GPP option, though, there's a lot of better options for value plays in that mid-tier range as well. So I think Brandon Ingram is the only cash viable option, the only guy that will carry decent ownership from this game. So yeah, I do agree with you, but I do think Josh Hart is a decent play as well.
Yeah, if you land on Hart, I mean, I don't think you can be upset with it, but I'm going to try to avoid him.
How about the Knicks? What do you think about the Knicks? Because they are interesting without Marcus Morris, Randall, and DJ still.
Yeah, I mean, they do have some guys that interest me, like RJ Barrett. I mean,
horrible game last game.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever even rostered RJ Barrett, to be honest with you. But with Morris and with Randall off the court, where are the Knicks on my sheet? Here we are. He averages 0.91 fantasy points a minute, should see 30 minutes. He gets a 5.2% usage bump. He's a 5.7 on our sheet. I definitely think he's cash viable. I actually think he might carry some ownership too tonight.
They should him at 33% actually, so that's surprising.
Really? Yeah. I think he's a pretty good mid range. That's what I was going to say. If you're landing on Hart, I think I'd rather go with Barrett because I think he's going to be a little more high owned, and I actually like the upside more on Barrett tonight than I do on Hart. If Ingram plays, if Ingram doesn't play, then I feel like that. I mean, that makes Lonzo Ball a necessity, I would think. But yeah, I do like RJ Barrett. I don't like Reggie Bullock, but like he makes sense if you're trying to save some salary tonight at 3.6. Like if you want to try and fit LeBron and Trae Young in the lineup, you're going to need somebody that's cheap. I know we went that route last night with Svi Mikhailu, and he played 29 minutes and took 3 shots. Like
disappointing.
I didn't get it. But yeah, so Reggie Bullock gonna get 28 points. I mean, probably 26 minutes, I think, 26 to 28. He's starting again. I'm not in love with the pick, but for salary relief, I don't hate it. Again, I'm going to try to avoid it, but I think if you land on him for cash, he should be able to get value, probably a little less than that. But if I'm taking anybody, it's going to be RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett, and I want to talk about Bobby Portis because I think he's another fairly good play. I don't think he's cash viable just because his percentage ownership, but I think Bobby Portis could be a sneaky play here. I mean, it's a pace-up game. He got 40 points last game. If he's actually playing 30 minutes, and he should because he played 28 last game and a blowout, I see Bobby Portis as being a sneaky option here. I think he could get overlooked just because of his price tag bump, but 6.4 is still undervalued according to his previous performance. So if I had to pick 2 players, my favorite player is obviously RJ Barrett and then Portis. They obviously all get a usage bump here, so all of these players are viable. Like if you want to take a stab at Elfrid Payton, I wouldn't be that mad either. Even Mitchell Robinson. But my favorite plays, RJ Barrett and Bobby Portis, I think are my favorite plays there.
I agree. If Frank was getting more minutes, I'd like him with DSJ out, but I think he's a decent GPP play.
Yeah, and Kevin Knox was just brought up. Yeah, Kevin Knox is another viable GPP option, but again, he's just a shooter. So yeah, he's just a shooter. He'd have to get hot for him to do anything. I think there's better options for value tonight.
Someone said Kuzma has to ball tonight. LeBron will trade him. I love that. Yeah. Kuzma's on watch for sure.
We love opinions in the chat too. We don't just prefer questions. Miami, Brooklyn. Do any of those guys intrigue you?
Winslow out. I mean, Jimmy Butler at AK. Yeah, kind of. I don't think I'm going to get to him tonight for cash. I also don't mind Kendrick Nunn at 4.6. But no, not really. Not really anybody in Miami. If I'm taking anybody, it's Jimmy. But I'd rather spend up for LeBron and Ingram.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Kendrick Nunn is actually showing as a good play too. Kendrick Nunn, 29 minutes, 4.6 is slightly undervalued there. I think in a pace-up game for Miami, Kendrick Nunn's not a bad play. He is cash viable. I think Bam's a little overpriced here, although it is Brooklyn, so it's an elite matchup. So GPP for sure.
I'll probably be rostering Jimmy in a lot of my GPPs.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Butler ends up being a great GPP play, just because he will get overlooked percentage-wise. What makes them a good GPP play? He could definitely sneak into a cash lineup, but because of the ownership, guys, that's what makes them great GPP plays. Players that are going to get overlooked, the public isn't looking at, so we think that Jimmy Butler would be a better GPP option. We got that question last stream, so I just wanted to reiterate that.
Yeah,
I think Brooklyn intrigues me actually a little bit more because of these injuries coming out here. I mentioned to you before the stream, Dinwiddie actually comes out to a 5.7 on my sheet, a 5.6-ish on your sheet. 7.4 definitely could go overlooked as well. I do like Dinwiddie carrying a 13% ownership here. Dinwiddie 32.5. I don't know why they threw the 0.5 in there. Projected minutes against Miami. I think because of the lower pace too, I think he could certainly get overlooked. I think because people are scared of the Levert effect here. Not too many people will roster him, but they also forget that Dinwiddie is still the offensive unit option on that team. So I do like Dinwiddie.
Yeah, I mean the thing about LeVert is he came back against obviously Toronto. He only played 15 minutes. He sat against Orlando, and then he played against OKC a couple nights ago. He took 16 shots in 22 minutes off the
That's
bench.
insane.
He had a 41% usage rate. He had 6 boards, 3 assists. He had 20 points. I think that game went into overtime too, and I don't think he didn't play in OT, which kind of stinks because I told you I'm pretty sure it was like 100% of GPPs on him. He ended up hitting value, but I like LeVert again as a sneaky GPP play. I mean, he's projected at 25 minutes, so I would hope he'd get a little more than that. But again, I don't think he will. I think he's going to continue to see an uptick in minutes here and there until he gets to that 30 minute threshold. But I do like LeVert as a GPP play tonight. Obviously, if he doesn't play a lot of minutes, then that's going to hinder his performance. Keith Morris, thought said Marcus Morris. I was going to say he was already ruled out. I can get behind you with Dinwiddie, but I'm not in love with him. If I'm taking anybody for GPPs, I think it's going to be Jared Allen again at 5,600. He still rates out so good on our sheet. I know he's been not very good lately. He had a little bit of a better performance against OKC and Steven Adams. He played 33 minutes. He only had 28 DK points, so nothing to brag home about. But I feel like he's starting to get a little bit more consistent, getting his game back a little bit. So I do like Jared Allen tonight as a GPP play, but for cash, I don't think I'm going to be rostering any of these guys.
Yeah, I'd also think because of the low over under too. These guys aren't cash viable, of course, more GPP. San Antonio, Memphis. I know you're not too intrigued with any of these guys, and quite honestly, I'm not either. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is the only guy that I'd consider. He seems pretty low price here at 7.4. It's a pace-up game for both teams, but like I said, these guys are playing low minutes for the Spurs, so you just never know. I think Aldridge is your only safe bet if you're going to roster any of these guys. Does anybody make sense from the Spurs for you?
I just want to touch base on one question because sure. He just asked a question that has to do with Brooklyn. He said, any TLC love with Temple and Chandler out? I'm going to say no. If I am looking at anybody, it's going to be Kirks. If he gets his 20 minutes, I like him with high upside, especially for GPP at his price tag at 3-1. If he's projected at 21 minutes, I doubt he plays that. I'll probably play like 18 to 20. But if he hits shots, I think he has good GPP upside. He rates out really good on my sheet too. He's a 0.96 fantasy point minute player. So if he can get the 20 minutes, I do like him as a GPP play. That's who I'd be going to for Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn. I mean, there's some sneaky options there.
Yeah, you're saying Spurs and Memphis? Yeah, I don't have any interest in this game for cash.
Okay. Not even Memphis. No, I think they're all overpriced.
No, I don't have any interest in for cash. I don't know about GPP. Not really either. DeRozan, he's been playing really well. He smoked the Celtics, and it looks like he's playing really confident ball right now. So I do like DeRozan, but that would be a GPP option. But I don't have any interest in any of these guys for cash.
All right, I can agree with you there. There's not too much to look at. Don't let the over under be too intriguing. It's been going downward, by the way, all day long. So it started out at 116. They actually had the Spurs favored. Now it looks like it's in Memphis. So Indiana, Chicago, anything interest you from that game?
Well, we're still waiting for Sabonis and Brogdon, so I think that's huge news. I think that Sabonis will play. I wouldn't be surprised if Brogdon sits again. So I don't really know what's going to play out for the Pacers, so I'm not too sure if I do like anybody from them yet. But for Chicago, yeah, I do. I like Zach LaVine at 8,300. It kind of stinks that the AD news came out and LeBron is going to probably be a must-have. Because I did like LaVine and going that mid-tier. I was really looking at Trae Young, Ingram, and LaVine as my 3 studs tonight for cash. Averages 1.27 fantasy points per minute. We got Carter off the court, so I feel like that gives him a little bit of a usage bump. He actually goes up 2.5%. Satoransky gets a little bit of a bump. He gets a 2% usage bump, 0.95 fantasy point per minute at 5'8". Not really in love with it. I can get behind Dunn maybe as a cash play, but I did really like LaVine. I still really like LaVine. He's going to get 38, 40 minutes in a competitive game against the Pacers. I'm not really too in love with the over-under, but it could be worse at 215. So I do like LaVine, and I think he's cash viable.
Also, if Sabonis is ruled out and Brogdon, that could actually drive up the pace. So that's something else.
He was ruled out. I was
no, not yet.
Yeah, I think Sabonis will play, but yeah. I can get behind. Levine tonight for cash, but I don't think I'll get there.
Another player you didn't mention that I actually kind of like too is Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young actually has hit value in both of the games where Carter has been out, and he's actually hit him, and then some. So 5.7. I'm not against starting Thaddeus Young. Again, GPP only. All these guys will carry low ownership, so and he has a bad matchup. So again, like if I'm starting any one of these guys, I probably wouldn't go cash, just because of all the other options here. But I can definitely get behind some of these Bulls for sure.
Yeah, Thad Young off the bench. I guess I don't mind it, but I do like Levine.
I kind of wanted to rush into this next game because this game I do like a lot. I like some of these players a lot, and especially if Aaron Gordon is out for Orlando. I was talking about them on the video. I really like Evan Fournier tonight, especially, and I like them regardless, but I like Evan Fournier a lot. I like Vooch, and I do like Terrence Ross. I think they're all cash viable. They could be cash viable. I think Fournier, just because of his low percentage ownership, he's a really solid GPP option, especially for Phoenix. The line has been moving upward for both of these guys. So I do like the Magic tonight.
Yeah, I think the Aaron Gordon news is huge. I think if he's out, I think Fournier is a lock for cash. I also think that brings Fultz into play. Obviously Terrence Ross and Vooch. I think they're all cash viable. If I'm going to one, especially if Gordon's out, it's going to be Fournier.
Yeah, Gafford is starting tonight for they are starting, but they still do have projection for Thaddeus Young here at 30 minutes. So I usually just go with Rowe though. If he is coming off the bench, honestly, that might be better. But switching gears to Orlando. So yeah, it sounds like you do agree with me on the Magic here.
Yeah, if Gordon's out, I'll lock in Vooch. I'll lock in Fournier.
All right, so we got a question earlier about GPP plays. There's one of my favorite ones on the slate is Fournier. If he is only projected right now at 2%, I do like Fournier as a solid GPP option.
It's wild.
For Phoenix, do you like anybody on the other side?
I do not. Not for cash. Nope. I like Ayton at 7.8 for GPP. Especially if Gordon's out, I think that makes it easier on him, especially because they've been starting Gordon and Baines. I would think that Vooch draws Baines. So I feel like that opens up a lot for Ayton. And yeah, I guess Rubio at 6.9 I can get behind, but no cash options for me from Phoenix.
Gonna be honest with you, I don't really like anybody from this game. I think it's a pace down spot. I think there's way better options elsewhere. Charlotte. I'm not even gonna ask you. Do you like anybody from Utah?
Yeah, so I love Charlotte tonight, man. Devontae Grant. No, I'm kidding. Utah. Nope, I don't like any of those guys for cash. I like Bismack Biyombo, I guess, a little bit at 4.1. But as a GPP play, cash though, maybe Ingles at 5.6. I think that's a really low price tag for him, but none of these guys are going to carry ownership, so they don't intrigue me for cash.
I think Ingles is a solid play for GPP. I mean, if he's projected at 20% ownership, I mean, maybe. Joe Ingles, 5.6, 32. We obviously know that it's a pace-up spot for these guys. I think if he does hit value, it's going to be in this game. Just very poor defense from Charlotte. Charlotte is projected to get they're 12-point underdogs here. So they're also projecting here Rudy Gobert, 8.6 in an elite matchup. As long as I can keep it close, I can see Gobert being a solid GPP option, but outside of that, no.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, we just got a DM that I got to answer.
Yeah, I just got like 5 notifications on my phone. All right, we're going to move on here to the most intriguing news here out of AD finally sitting. He was questionable for the longest time, and then he finally got a real injury, and now he's out. So let's talk Lakerland here. Who's your favorite play? Actually, who's your favorite plays? So let's just go over everybody here.
McGee.
Okay, McGee. Why? Let the audience know here.
Hold on. You want to start and then I'll chime in. I gotta do this real quick.
So let's go ahead and run the numbers here. Let's take AD off the court. I'll show you guys. Because I think there's some misconception here with the Lakers. I think everybody is on LeBron, and for decent reason. He carries the highest usage. But also keep in mind, this is a slight pace down spot. I'm not saying I don't like LeBron. Don't panic. Don't panic. I do like LeBron.
That's like LeBron, guys.
Yeah, no, I like LeBron. But I do think that the better option for tonight is JaVale McGee. I think LeBron James is a good option, not an elite option. I think that there's going to be a lot of pivoting for me for my GPPs. Kyle Kuzma, I don't think is a great play. Do you agree with me on that? At 5.3, he is carrying a 25.4% usage, 0.87 fantasy points per minute. I think he's an okay option, but I don't think people are all over Kuzma, and I don't really trust him tonight.
I think he's a good play. I mean, I don't think he's in the category of. I think it's McGee and LeBron, and then I think it's Kuzma down here as the third option.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think you need him for cash tonight, but I love him as a GPP play, and he definitely could end up in the cash build at 5.3. I think that's really cheap for a guy that should see 30 minutes. And I think he has a lot to prove, especially to somebody like LeBron, who is basically running that team and could easily go to management and just say, I want Kuzma gone, and they could trade him. So I think tonight's actually a really big night for Kuz with the trade deadline coming up. And, AD's out. He wants to show that he can be the guy for LeBron and for that team when they need him. I don't think he has really come into his role as being the third guy off the bench yet. I feel like he's still getting used to that. Usage is coming up more, and I think as the season will go on, he'll get more adjusted to it. But if he does see 30 minutes tonight, I think he's a good play. But I still like McGee and I like LeBron more.
Yeah, I think if anybody isn't a lock tonight, it's going to be JaVale McGee. 23 minutes, but he is so efficient, guys. If I'm going to go ahead and pull up this sheet here. Where is he? JaVale McGee. Only a 90-minute sample size because he does usually play along AD. 1.38 fantasy points per minute. 90-minute sample size isn't too small, but it's going to be a good indication. He is projected 66% owned. I think he's cash viable and GPP. He should be a building block tonight. JaVale McGee.
Yeah, he should be your core and everything.
Yeah, I think he also draws a pretty decent matchup against these bigs too in Dallas. So I do like McGee and I do like LeBron. 1.61 fantasy points per minute. He carries a 37.2% usage. I do like LeBron, but I'm not as high on Kyle Kuzma, so I will say that. I will have a decent amount of exposure to Kuzma, just probably not as much as I should, or as much as the public recommends I should. But that's my take on the Lakers. Do you have anybody else that you're going to be looking at for the Lakers?
Yeah, I like Rondo as a GPP play too.
Yeah, he's a productive player.
Yeah, 115 fantasy points per minute. I mean, AD being out doesn't really affect him too much, but I do like Rondo. And if it's my understanding, this is a nationally televised game because I'm pretty sure we said that the 9:45 start time was crazy. Yeah, it's on ESPN. I don't know for those of you who follow Rajon Rondo, but Rondo in primetime is a completely different person.
Like, that's a real thing. He's not lying.
Yeah, like he balls out in primetime games. Games that are nationally televised, TNT, ESPN, he's a completely different person. So I think he's more aggressive. I think he asserts himself early when he comes in off the bench. So I do like Rondo as a GPP play tonight. And yeah, that's it.
Do you have any interest in Dwight Howard?
GPP, yeah,
24
sure.
minutes.
Yeah, GPP, yeah, I can get behind it. 5.6 though, like I'd rather go with McGee.
Yeah, McGee 1,000%. I'm not that high on Dwight Howard. Any of these guards interest you? Like if you're talking Bradley, if you're talking Green, do they interest you?
Bradley doesn't sit. I think that makes me fall even more in love with Rondo. Because Avery's questionable, so I think that's kind of big.
That's a good point.
I feel like if Avery's out, they'll start KCP and Rondo will still coming off the bench, but I think he'll get an uptick in minutes. But yeah, no. Besides Rondo, as a GPP guy, I'm all set.
All right, so there's our take on the Lakers, guys. For anybody joining, we're getting pretty high here on the viewer count. Please hit that subscribe button if this interests you. We will be going live every single night. We do this all the time to break down the injury news, to break down the edge against the field. For you guys who have heard this rant before, I'm sorry. But go ahead and enter any questions you guys have on the slate in the chat. We'll be sure to answer them shortly here. We're going to have about 20 minutes before we get off, so go ahead and enter those questions into the chat.
Enter.
For the other side of the ball, Dallas, we know this is obviously prime time, going to be a competitive game. Do you like Doncic on the other side of the ball?
Not for cash. No.
Not for cash, yeah.
Again, I can get behind it. Like, I think anytime Luka plays, he's a triple-double threat, and he's a good play.
Yeah.
Just not for cash tonight. I don't think I'm going to have him. GPP, yeah, give me him. I'll probably be over the field on Luka exposure for GPPs.
I was just about to say the same thing. I'm going to be overexposed, and the reason is because
people are going to be scared of that price tag, especially with AD being out, and everybody's going to go to LeBron. So
I was looking at a stat. Luka this season, and I don't know where the stat is right now. I wish I had it for the stream. He is so much more aggressive this season. He's not taking as many threes as he did last season, as many mid-range jumpers. And the fact that AD's out tonight is just setting Doncic up for success tonight. And he's already a great player without Porzingis. I think because of the intensity of the game, because of the game, obviously it's going to be Doncic versus LeBron. There's no secret there. I think he's setting himself up for a very good game. I think I'm going to be overweight on him. Not too much. He's showing here at 9%, so I might have like 20-25% exposure to Doncic tonight. I think he's setting up for a very, very good GPP play. Very good game for him. He could get overlooked for sure.
I agree with that.
Delon Wright, I also do like 4.9, showing undervalued on their sheet, so I do like him as well.
Yeah, I like Wright as well tonight. I think he's a good GPP building block. I think he's a good salary saver.
Do you think he's cash viable?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So Delon Wright, I'm showing at 13%, so the highest owned on that team actually as well. Milwaukee, do you like Giannis tonight as another pay up option?
I think if you want to take a stab with Giannis tonight for GPPs, do it tonight because I think he goes really under-owned. And I think he could be a nightmare matchup for, obviously he is every single night. Doesn't matter who he plays. Mm-hmm. Not many guys can match up with him. But with Sacramento, if Bagley does in fact sit and they don't have Rashawn Holmes, Bielisa is questionable. I think he's going to play. But if Bagley and Holmes are out, that's going to leave, and granted, if Bielisa sits, that leaves Harry Giles, Dwayne Dedmon, and like those kind of guys to try and mark Giannis at probably like sub 6% because everybody's going to love Trae Young in that high-paced game. Everybody's going to love LeBron with AD being out. I think this is a really good spot for Giannis.
Yeah,
with
and
those bigs for sack sitting. So GPP, yeah, I'll definitely be overweight on Giannis.
That's the thing. That's why I was saying earlier with the Lakers with LeBron, everybody's freaking out because it's obviously without AD, LeBron's a great play. But look at Giannis. He's in a high-paced game. He's still 11.1. He carries a higher usage usually than LeBron. I don't see why Giannis couldn't be a better play than LeBron tonight. So again, I think I'll be overweight on the field on Giannis as well. I think tonight is the edge is not going all in on LeBron and putting him in the 100% of your lineups, and I think it's spreading out. I think it's going towards Doncic and going towards Giannis because they could easily outscore LeBron point per dollar value wise. So that's my take, and I think from what you said, I think you agree with that.
Yeah.
Are you having any interest in anybody else on Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, no, but Sacramento, I'm interested in with those bigs being out. I think it's dependent on whether or not Bagley sits. Yeah. I'll be looking at Dwayne Dedmon and Harry Giles if, in fact, Bagley is out because those are the only bigs that they're going to have. Bielisa coming in as questionable now intrigues me a little bit more because if he sits, that opens up some more value for somebody like maybe Harrison Barnes, Trevor Ariza also. So I'm interested to make sure that Bagley does, in fact, sit. If he plays, that just screws up my whole entire theory on this game. But I don't think he'll play. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, maybe late swap and have a couple lineups set up strictly for that game and kind of wait and see what happens with those pending injuries.
Bielisa, officially questionable. What does that even mean? It says officially questionable.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thanks for the update, guys.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Bielisa, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, this is one of those things I hope we get before the stream ends, but it probably will not happen. If he is ruled out, who do you like from this game a lot? Or do you like anybody from the Kings?
Yeah. if Bielisa's out, and
if everybody's out.
If Bielisa and Bagley I think Bielisa's going to play, but if he's out, then yeah, like I said, Harrison Barnes, Trevor Ariza. I mean, Ariza might start. I don't know. I don't know what they would do. Maybe they start. I don't know, Harry Giles and Dwayne Dedmon. I doubt it because they're both centers, but I would think that Ariza starts would be my guess if Bielisa sits.
Yeah, I think he got the start. No, he didn't.
No, but I think they'd have to start him. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes Ariza a good play. He's at 4.7 now, so it's not something I'd be in love with, but I wouldn't mind taking a stab with him in GPPs. Yeah, I like De'Aaron Fox too. I mean, 7.5. I think that's too cheap for him. I'm just worried about a blowout. Obviously, whenever the Bucks take the court, that's what I'm always scared about. But I think that 7.5 price tag is too cheap for Fox.
Yeah, I think if all those guys are ruled out, obviously with the tighter rotation, I do like Buddy Hield, unfortunately, because I never like Buddy Hield at 6.6. Obviously, would be the only guy that would be offensive oriented on that starting team there. De'Aaron Fox, it would be the other guy. But other than that, I mean, those are the only two guys to be scoring the ball. So, yeah, we're going to get to the favorite plays here in just a moment, guys. The last game on the slate is next. So, bear with us here. Golden State Clippers. Do you like anybody from Golden State with one of my favorite plays being rolled out from the video this morning?
D'Lo. That stinks, man. No, not really. Damian Lee, I guess, at 5.3. I think that's pretty cheap for him. None of them really rate out too high on my sheet. They have one of the lowest over-unders on the slate tonight. I mean, excluding Charlotte. I'm not even going to count them as being on the slate. I think Damian Lee is a good GPP play at 5.3 with D'Lo being ruled out. I mean, I can get behind Alec Burks in GPP at 6K, just because I think he's their most skilled player. I mean, Draymond's obviously their best all-around guy, but scoring-wise and scoring dependency, I think that's Alec Burks. So I like Burks, and I like Damian Lee as GPP plays, and Draymond at 5.7 intrigues me too, but none of these guys for cash.
I'm going to be honest, I don't really like anybody. Kai Bowman just came up from back up from the G League, which is why I thought that D'Lo was definitely going to play tonight. And I'm disappointed because I really, really liked him tonight, especially actually the line moved down, so they were in a decent spot against the Clippers, but now I'm disappointed, so I'm sad. I'm sad about it. I don't want to talk about it. Clippers are without. This is the last team to break down, and then we'll go ahead and go over our favorite overall plays, and we'll just kind of recap everything and then answer the questions. Clippers are without Paul George, obviously.
Yeah,
it's so sad. Again, I'm sad again because all these prices. I mean, Kawhi Leonard almost 10K. I'm just sad. I don't want to talk about it. Like, these guys are great plays, but with the price tags being so high, I don't know. Can you get behind anybody?
The matchup just scares me. I mean, they're playing Golden State at home. I mean, they're 16-point favorites, 17-point favorites, something absurd like that. I mean, Golden State will probably win now that I said that, but yeah, I think Kawhi at 9.9, like on any other slate where there isn't this much value, with like if AD's playing and maybe Trae Young's not playing against the Wizards and Brandon Ingram sits or something like that, like, yeah, I could see myself paying up for Kawhi in cash. He's a 1.58 fantasy point per minute with Paul George off the court. He gets a 2.7% usage bump. Should play those 30 minutes. I mean, I don't see him playing anything more than that, especially in this type of game script. He has been playing more minutes as of late when he's been playing. In competitive games, he's been playing like 36 minutes, which is a nice sign. But, you know, they could easily blow the doors off Golden State. So I like Kawhi as a GPP play. Maybe a leverage off of someone like Trae Young. Dante Exum's out for Saturday, so that's big news. But yeah, so Kawhi for a GPP, I really like him. I think he could be a little bit under-owned than he normally is on a slate. If I'm taking anybody else, it's probably Trez at 6.7 going up against Golden State's bigs. I like that matchup, but and then Zubac, like, I really like his matchup. He's 4.2, but just the minutes are just never there for him. He just doesn't play. They like to go with Trez and play a little up pace. If he plays 20 minutes, like, yeah, he's a 1.3 fantasy point per minute player. Like, he's very efficient when he's on the court. But I mean, he just doesn't see minutes. So that's my take. I could get behind Zub as a GPP play tonight. But yeah, that's all I got for the Clippers.
All these price tags scare me. I'll say that. Patrick Beverly was mentioned here in the chat from your boy. But Beverly again does scare me with a a GPP play, but again he averages like under a point a minute, I'm pretty sure. And I think even that's a stretch. I think it was like 0.8.
Yeah, it's 0.79, yeah.
0.79, that's what it was. Yeah, so 0.79 at 30 minutes is not too intriguing. Beverly's never really that productive of a player offensively. So, again, all these price tags scare me. And the blowout potential. I mean, there's a lot going on here. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Or not wrap it up. Let's go ahead and summarize everything.
Yippers.
Let me go ahead and recalculate. Let me go ahead and update the minutes, and then I'll give you a rundown on our favorite plays. For everybody joining, thank you so much for the support. We're about to break down our favorite overall plays after all the injury news that has broken the slate already. Let's go ahead and run 150 here. See what the builds look like. TJ, who are some of your favorite plays? If you had to recap everything.
Right now, for cash, my favorite plays are going to be JaVale McGee. I like McRae. I think both of them are probably the two highest owned on the slate, so I feel like I'm not giving you guys anything too crazy. I also obviously really like LeBron with AD being out. I really like RJ Barrett with those injuries playing against the Pelicans tonight. We need to see what's going on with Aaron Gordon because I think Aaron Gordon sits. I think that's huge for someone like Fournier. That brings Fultz into the mix, I think, a little bit. Although I don't like his price tag, I don't think I'd pay up for him in cash. But Fournier in cash, if Gordon's out, like I'm all in for that. I do like Ish Smith. I've been talking about Ish Smith. I feel like every single stream when Beal gets ruled out coming off the bench, I think he's super aggressive. I think he's their playmaker. He's a 30% usage rate guy, so I know we touched base on him. So I do like those two guards from Washington. And then Trae Young tonight. That over-under is just absurd. And the craziest thing is the over-under is 240, and like it should definitely get there. So I don't expect any defense in this game, like absolutely none. I think they're both two of the top three fastest paced teams in terms of offense, and like just pace is it's going to be unbelievable. The defense in this game that's not going to be played. So that's what I'm thinking. It's McGee, McRae, and then I think I'll probably go Trae Young and LeBron. I think those are my building blocks for cash tonight.
I'm gonna completely agree with you on everything. I think I'm gonna present something different here, just because you've given all the cash plays. I'm gonna give a couple GPP options for you guys. Somebody that's coming out fairly well on our sheet, regardless of if Aaron Gordon is out. Evan Fournier, I've already said it. I think he's gonna be a sneaky play here at 3.91% ownership. Fairly low. So I do like Evan Fournier tonight as a sneaky GPP option. We touched base a little bit on RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is another decent option. He is carrying a bit high of an ownership, so I'm not going to recommend him as a GPP play, a sneaky one anyway. Dinwiddie's going to be another one here at 5.7%, showing up well on their sheet. Delon Wright, we already touched base on. So that's going to be another one, and I'll give one more for you guys. Kendrick Nunn at 10.25%. Those are going to be some of my favorite GPP options for you guys. All right, let's go ahead and start answering some of these questions here. So, would you go Brown or McRae if you won the one in cash on DK? TJ, I'll go ahead and let you answer that one.
I don't think they're in the same ballpark, unfortunately. Troy Brown. Okay,
Troy Brown, yeah.
I was thinking Bruce Brown for some reason.
No, but that was a great option last night, and he snapped for me.
That's why I was thinking about it. I'm going McRae.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just I like his upside. So
5,300 left. Who would you go at? Who will you go at point guard or shooting guard? Let's see here.
Me personally at 5'3", I would try and rearrange, and I like Kuzma. But if he's already in your build, I also like RJ Barrett at 5'2". I think both of them are going to be great cash plays tonight.
Yeah, RJ Barrett definitely, and we mentioned Josh Hart as not being a bad play as well.
Yeah, if you land on Josh Hart, you land on Josh Hart, but I would rate him. I would rate RJ Barrett, Kuz, and then Hart for those three.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Let's see. I want to scroll up here a little bit. LeBron over Kawhi, absolutely. I think LeBron's a better play overall, and he's going to be more chalky.
Yeah.
Do you like a Windu or Ross with Augustine out? Yeah, we touch base on Ross. Let me go ahead and touch base on the Windu here. Let me see what his price is looking at. 3.6. No, I don't like him anymore. 3.6, 25 minutes. That's his cap right there.
If a Windu's over 3.2, Matt's not interested in him. Anytime a Windu's
he hit value again. I didn't even notice that. He hit value again at 20 points. So, yeah, but it's a pace. It's
35. That's not value. Yeah, I guess 35 times 5. Yeah, I guess that's value.
Slightly. But only 25 minutes is what they have him at. They usually have him at 28 minutes ish. So, I mean, he doesn't have the high of a ceiling. That's the only problem with the Windu. All right, James or Luca. Like I said, James is going to be your safer option tonight. However, I think the majority of us, me and TJ, are going to have a even amount of exposure to a lot of these superstars, slightly overweight on LeBron. I think that's your edge tonight. I don't really know why the ownership is so high in LeBron. I think there's a lot of good options to pay up for tonight. That being Trae Young, Giannis, and Doncic. Yeah, and Brandon Ingram are all fantastic options tonight. So I think that we're going to have a decent amount of exposure to those guys. So to answer your question, if I was going GPP and I was feeling good, I would go Doncic in my GPP. And his ownership actually went down, so that's even better. 6% is what they're showing him at right now.
It's absurd. That is disgraceful.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
It is disrespectful. I'm pissed.
All right, guys, go ahead and fire your questions away. We're going to get off here in a couple minutes to make our own builds. Like I said, a general strategy for me is I like to go overweight on some of the guys I feel really good about, and if I happen to be underweight on some players, I actually exclude them from my player field. So I actually am going to post a video on that when I get back from vacation. But that's another thing. Let me go ahead and announce that, guys. I will be on vacation for you guys who didn't see my video. TJ will try his best. He can't guarantee anything. Try his best to keep up with all of the injury news, all of the news in general, his favorite plays on Twitter. So if you haven't already, please follow us on Twitter. And of course, we do provide a cash lineup, optimal lineup on our website. So feel free to go to our website and sign up today if you haven't already. So I do apologize, guys. Everybody needs a break every once in a while. So this is the cheapest way to go in January on a cruise. So
yeah, guys, don't worry. When Matt's gone, I got it. I'm on top of all the injuries and values throughout the day anyway. So
we're interchangeable, guys. We usually have the same opinions or similar opinions.
So I mean, I sit at my desk and don't do my actual work. I do DraftKings stuff. So I'm literally crunching values all day as I sit at my desk. So when Matt's gone, I promise you I will not be getting up at 5 o'clock to make a YouTube video like he does every morning. So hats off to him. But I will be more active when it comes to like posting cores and stuff like that and who I like throughout the day on Twitter. I will Periscope every single night because Matt has the setup for YouTube. He has the desktop. I only have a laptop, unfortunately, so I don't have access to being able to use the YouTube account that we have set up for us and being able to post. So I will go live on Periscope so you guys can come in and I'll break down the slate exactly how I do every single night with Matt. So let's get back to some of these questions.
Yep, I know this is for DraftKings, but do you like Lou Will on FanDuel for 6,200 or McRae for 61? Right. I'd go with McRae.
Yeah, McRae for cash. If you want to take a stab with Lou Will and GPPs, go ahead. But I'd take McRae in both.
Yeah, the blowout potential. It also depends on GPP. I mean, GPP you can take a stab at Lou Will, but McRae is going to be the safer bet, probably the better play.
How many players from Atlanta-Washington game should be in your cap? At least 2. At least. Yeah. I think McRae's in there. I can get behind Ish Smith. I can get behind Trae Young. So if you have all 3 in there, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Trevor Ariza or Ross for the forward position. If all those injuries are true for Sacramento, which we don't suspect that they will be, I do like Trevor Ariza and so does TJ for the forward position for sure.
Yeah. So if Bielisa does sit for some reason, since he just randomly got ruled questionable, I like Trevor Ariza. But I mean, we got to wait for Aaron Gordon too. If Aaron Gordon sits, I think that's big for Terrence Ross. So I think that question's really tough to answer right now with the pending injuries.
Yeah.
John Collins for GPP, yeah, for sure. I like that GPP call.
Good play. He's a bit overpriced, which sets up low ownership for him.
I missed 2 of your favorite plays. Favorite plays for tonight are building blocks for cash are going to be McRae. They're going to be McGee.
LeBron.
LeBron. I like LeBron. I like Trae Young. I like RJ Barrett. I think those are five pretty good building blocks tonight for cash. But McGee and McRae are probably our two favorites, Matt. I mean, McGee is just obviously the favorite. If people aren't as high on McRae, I understand that, but I like both of them equally tonight.
Trey Lyles for the Spurs, I would say strictly only GPP, and the guy doesn't get any minutes. I would say no. I'm not comfortable with him.
No, hold on. If you have Trey Lyles, all right, Trey Lyles at 3.5. Let's find him a better. I mean, playing Memphis, I guess.
Are you trying to find a better option?
Yeah, I want to find him a better option at 3.5 because.
I thought you were disagreeing with that. I was like, how can you like this guy at 19 minutes?
Hold on, Sabonis is in. And what did it say about Brogdon?
Brogdon ruled out, apparently.
Brogdon is out?
That's what somebody just said in the chat here.
Yeah, Brogdon out. Back illness. So.
Let's look at that real quick before we get off.
I just want to look at Holiday's price tag. If it's come down.
5.6.
So I'm all set.
Yeah, not too much to look at, guys. I know that's a bit disappointing. Sabonis at 9.1. Again, that got a price bump. They are playing a very bad Chicago defense, but still, I mean,
I'd rather if whoever was looking for value at the 3.5, I guess Trey Lyles, if you really want to go down there. I mean, when he does get minutes, he's very efficient. I think I'd rather take a chance on Frank tonight against the Pelicans. That'd be my 3.5 play. TJ Warren for GPPs. TJ Warren got absolutely. TJ Warren might be dead after what Jimmy Butler said, so I wouldn't play him. Rondo tonight, Mitchell.
That was your take. That was just your take. That was it.
Yeah, TJ. Does anybody know if TJ Warren's alive? Like TJ Warren might be dead. Rondo tonight, yeah, we touched base on Rondo. I love Rondo tonight in GPPs, especially if Avery Bradley's out. I think that gives him a minute bump. And nationally televised game, those are Rondo's things. So I'm on board with Rondo tonight for GPPs. IT, love IT as a GPP play tonight at 3.9. His minutes haven't been there, especially lately. So I don't think he's cash viable. Matt,
I'm still laughing about it. I'm sorry.
Kevin Huerter for cash, probably not. Probably not for cash, but GPP, yeah, and that over under. I think you can take a stab at any of those guys in that game. And I think they could all potentially be viable, but GPP play would be Huerter for me tonight. White man's got drip though.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm looking more Indiana here. I don't really see too much. Sabonis is a sneaky GPP play, but only because of the defense, and it's 9.1, so it's still a scary price tag. But other than that, that's it. How about Peyton? We'll answer that one last question. Peyton, low minutes. I would probably go elsewhere with these other guards. Like we said, we like Ish Smith. We like even Troy. Troy Brown.
Well, no. What's his price tag?
It's 4.2. I think. I don't think it's Smith.
Yeah, I'd rather go with IT if you want. Gary Payton's 4.3. Go IT. Save $400.
Yeah, IT is a better option. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. So we really appreciate all the support, guys. I will see you in a week. The videos will be back up live. I will try to get a beach stream. I'm leaving for Miami tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, okay, guys. I'll be on Periscope tomorrow night if you want to come pop in. So
I will do a beach stream. I'll try to at one point. But yeah, we really appreciate it. Subscribe, hit that notification bar, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great night.
Good luck tonight, guys.